This is John Grieco, and you are watching The Art of.
The art of acknowledging the art, seeing the artist behind the art, knowing what triggers the art, seeing the future before it starts. The art of.
Joining me in the studio is John Grieco from Lasting Art in the city of Rochester. John, walk us through the studio. I know I was there on Saturday and it was an interesting combination of wood and metal fused all around the studio. Walk us through the journey as we walk us through the studio.
The way I basically, and this is an evolution. I've owned the place for 11 years and things have kind of taken a life of their own.
Okay.
But when I am set up, like on a Saturday, all the art, furniture, and sculpture is kind of spilled out onto the sidewalk.
Okay.
And that's where kind of the journey starts.
Okay.
And so you'll come and see all this stuff kind of complete. And then as you walk in, you'll see some things that are complete and some things that are not quite so complete. And then, as you actually come into the studio and around it, you'll see works in progress.
Okay.
And as you kind of walk back, things are in lesser and lesser state of completion till, like, at the end of the tour, you'll find a big pile of junk, which is stuff just waiting to go to the boneyard. So it kind of, starts from slick to kind of beat up. And in the middle is all the tools and all of our work areas.
Okay. When you use the term junk, it made me think about the Beverly Hillbillies as well as the old show Sanford and Son. Do you actually ride around in your pickup truck collecting lost treasures or found objects that may have not set so well with individuals?
Right. Good question. I do feel like Fred Sanford because I have an old pickup truck and I do totally cruise around. And that's why I was brought up. And that's one of the things that I love is that I'm kind of, again, upcycling. I will never go buy a pile of junk that I don't stop at.
Okay.
And which is neat because as I've been doing this over the years, I'm finding less and less things because more and more people are doing it. And so, it's a blessing in one sense that it's cool that things are definitely getting recycled. And then also another neat thing is that since I've been at the shop for as long as I have, I do now have a group of antique dealers and junk dealers and pickers that are always, bringing me things. It's funny. It's like owning a restaurant and having the farmers come to you and bringing vegetables and stuff. So that's where everything kind of comes from.
Okay, so you don't necessarily have to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning and start to scour around the city of Rochester and on the outskirts attempting to find those objects because they often come to you as well.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's part of the neat process, the evolution of having a place that things kind of do develop. And again, it's like the pinch me feeling that every once in a while you got to pinch yourself because, like, wow, just a few years ago I wasn't at this place that I am now. So again, just another neat part of the whole process.
Where do you see yourself, John, in, say, 5 years from now in terms of your artistic form? And where do you see yourself growing? How do you see yourself growing and developing and evolving?
I don't really think about it too much because I think a lot of times I'm just focused on the here and now and just living for now. But what I do see possibly, what I would love, and my wife who guides me also, what we would like to do possibly is develop some kind of an artisan village where we get more people involved that are doing different types of art, like whether it's ceramic or glass or wood or stone or who knows what. but more of a community where everybody plays off of one another more. But we'd love to, you know what, I don't know how that would happen, but we'd love to see more of that in this area.
Okay, wonderful. It sounds exciting. So this is a family business. I know you mentioned your wife and what your vision is for the future. How does your wife inspire you to create?
Actually, she more orders me to create. I'm completely kidding. She has an amazing eye, and I have color deficiencies, so sometimes, you know, my weaknesses as far as looking at something exactly the way it is her strength.
Okay.
And so we play off of one another pretty well like that. And actually, a lot of our public works, she's actually designed them for the most part, whether it's a bench or bus shelter, things like that. So, you know, to say I couldn't do it without her, I think we can all make changes, but I'll tell you what, she makes life a lot easier and a lot richer.
Awesome. Tag team duo.
Right on.
Awesome.
That's what we got.
You mentioned the bench. I know I witnessed the bench in the studio, and if memory serves me correctly, I thought I saw it in the public at one point, or a bench similar to.
Yes. This bench was for Art Walk, one of our first public pieces,
Okay.
and I think it was 11 years ago.
Okay.
And so now we brought it back in to refurbish it.
Okay.
And it's funny to see, again, what we did 11 years ago, which almost makes you cringe on some of the work, you know, that we're fixing. But it's a neat eye-opener, too, to see how far we have come.
Yes.
So it really, again, it was a blessing to be able to take it back into the shop and redo it, just to humble us as far as, you know, where we've come.
Wonderful.
Where we were.
Wonderful. So you do a lot of commissioned pieces at this point, which is always a plus, a positive in terms of business. Can you speak to some of those pieces in addition to the bench, or to some of the individuals or organizations that you have commissioned pieces for?
Yeah. What the neat thing about doing commissioned pieces is that they're paid for.
Okay.
And that's kind of our goal.
Right.
But we also have to throw things out so people can see it and absorb and then say, wow, I embrace this and this is what I would like. So again, so they're both fun in different ways. So we have to just make a lot of cool things so people can see, wow, I like this. And so it's getting to the point where we're doing considerably more commission pieces than we are pieces that we're just taking a chance on. And again, for a lot of cool organizations now, a lot of individuals, but you know, we're doing work for some schools, okay. A lot of restaurants, grocery stores, you know, insurance companies, housing developers. It's again, I pinch myself where, you know, me just talking about it now, compared to, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
So you had no idea that your artistic form was going to actually be this successful.
Right. Who would have thought? Because again, where it started is that we needed something that we couldn't find, something that we wanted, that we had in our head, and so I guess it's in more people's heads than mine.
So you're the man that will create something that individuals might not be able to find at some of the furniture stores or one-of-a-kind type antique dealers.
Yeah, that's our niche. If somebody, or different sizes, if they, you know, like this piece but it's just too big or too small, we'll change that. And we also do, you know what, I believe it's our responsibility to the public to do little bit repair works and things like that. So we try to stay humble. If somebody has a lamp that's broken, they'll bring it in and we'll repair that. Okay. So it's as simple as repairing a chair or a lamp to building a sign for a new housing development, okay. To building a hip, cool sculpture for somebody's garden.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're going to commercial. Audience, don't change that dial. We'll be right back with Mr. John Grieco.
Hi, this is Lori Grieco, and we're at John Grieco's Lasting Art Studio, and you are watching The Art of.
Thank you for not turning that dial. Travel with me, if you will, inside of Mr. John Grieco's studio to take a look at some of the magnificent pieces that he's created.
You were able to make it over to my shop. I'm over at the public market on Railroad Street, 153 Railroad Street. And this is my shopping gallery. This is where we do a lot of our work. You know, again, with the upcycled materials, we work a lot with steel. That's mainly what we work with, is steel, and we do a fair amount with tile and wood, and whatever we find or whatever our pickers or antique dealers bring to us. And we'll do a lot of burning, actually, with a plasma cutter to shape our material. And we also do our retail sales here. On Saturdays, we open up to the public and spill our table and statuary out onto the sidewalk and let people mingle, and we give them the whole story of what we do here. And we do that basically from when the nice weather starts, like at the end of March, until Christmas time. And then we close down, but we're always working, so people are always welcome to come anytime and meander through the shop and through the grounds and see what we have to offer. So Rastavan keeps following me around. He's followed me to my firehouse right now, which is on North Clinton Avenue. I've been here for over 25 years, and I love it as much as the day I started. The way I started on the fire department is a friend of mine was just telling me about the fire service and told me I ought to check it out. So I just did it on a whim, and I've never looked back. And it's been a pretty cool experience. We're a pretty busy firehouse, and we get to do a lot of neat things. Also in this firehouse, besides fighting fires and doing medical emergencies, we go to all kinds of car accidents, and we also do water rescue here. We do swift water and ice water rescue. This is the rig that we do that on. And it's a pretty cool thing. But the reason I actually got into the metalworking, I think partially is from doing the firefighting. I really enjoy putting out fires. I get an adrenaline rush from it. It's just really cool. And I think that by taking the welding and burning the steel, I mean, the firefighting is so destructive, and the welding is so creative that it just kind of really forms a kind of a dichotomy, and it's just a really neat thing. But I'm just glad you were able to come and check this out, because again, this is another passion of mine. Thanks very much. The funny story about how I got on the fire department is I was doing my laundry one night, and kind of an acquaintance, he was actually a firefighter, was talking to me and just telling me how good the benefits were as far as the ability to help people and the pay and just everything that goes into it. So I figured, what the heck, I may as well give it a try. And I went to the library just to kind of study up a little bit, and ended up taking the civil service test, which was perfect. I mean, it was just what I studied, so I did well and got the ability to come on. And I still wasn't even sure if this is what I wanted to do. You know, at the time I had real long hair and a goatee, and was second guessing whether I should actually cut my hair to do this. But I said, you know what, I can always grow it back. So I did it, and right from the first day of the fire academy, I knew this was my calling. It just suits my style and myself to a T, and I love it. It's a lot of hard work and a good amount of studying and training, but again, the ability to help people and to exert a lot of physical force and adrenaline, it's amazing. I mean, you know, a lot of people do it for free, and I can see why. The ability to go to car accidents and house fires and all kinds of medical emergencies, it's just pretty cool stuff. This is John Grieco, and you're watching The Art of.